This is one of the worst drphil catfish episodes according to a lot of people. A lady was being scammed by some guy in Nigeria, but unlike the other shows, this one is different. It makes it really difficult to empathize with the victim. She is vile, but I might have a reason why. I'm not a doctor, and I am definitely not trying to diagnose anybody, but I can only assume what's going on with her and why she's so despicable with the people trying to protect her. On May 1st of 2015, the episode called Uncovering a Catfish, The Battle Between Kay and Kathy Continues, aired on TV. This is part 2, where in part 1 we learn a bit of Kay in the intro.
You're not mad at me, are you?
I don't even know you.
There's people saying he's not real.
Why don't you get a life?
We'll leave her out of it for a minute.
Well, get her out of here then. I hope you die before you walk out that door.
No, you don't.
Oh, hell, I don't.
Doesn't look good, does it? We are introduced to Kay. She got married in the 70s to her husband, whom she claimed loved but wasn't really in love with him. 40 years later, he passed away, so Kay sold the house and moved near her stepdaughter. 2 years later, she became very ill and was taken to the hospital for emergency surgery. That near-death experience changed something in her. She began online dating, knowing there were creeps out there. She didn't care, and in no time, Kay found a match. Aaron Mantini. You know the drill. This handsome stranger is so interesting that he travels to Africa all the time, but he got stuck in there for some reason, and now he needs money to return to his original country, totally not Nigeria. But the difference here is that she doesn't have a picture of the guy, and she doesn't even talk to him. The last time he called her was approximately in 2014.
You're married to your first husband for how long?
12 years.
12 years. Mm-hmm. That didn't go so well.
No.
So you eventually get a divorce, right?
I ended up in the hospital. I tried to take my life. And that's when my minister got a hold of this good psychiatrist, and he brought me out of it, and I decided, not worth it.
So there was a psychiatrist involved early on in her adulthood. That is interesting. If Dr. Phil is paying attention, that should be something to remember. Then she mentions how long it took for this Aaron guy to appear. A month. In a month, she met the love of her life, according to her. She also mentions she fell for the dude immediately. Then Kay says how she did see a picture of him, but it was only one. They talked on the phone for 3 months, but after he traveled to Africa, that had to stop for some reason, so it was only emails and texts. This Aaron guy was in Missouri while talking to Kay. She was in Illinois, same country. They did have a plan to meet.
When we first got in contact with the other, I left. I went on a trip, and when I was on a trip, he said, "When you get back and I get back, we're going to meet. Do you want to meet halfway? You want me to come there, or do you want to come here?" He said, "Well, we'll decide when you get back." And during that time, that's when I learned he had to leave the country.
How convenient. To keep things short, she doesn't care about knowing anything about this guy. Kay doesn't care if he's a liar, if he is not from Belgium, if he doesn't have the job he claimed to have. She doesn't even care if he doesn't exist. It's as if she needs Aaron no matter how. Everything about this lady is weird, but things get worse. Much, much worse. Now, we know this lady for just a couple of minutes and we already hate her, at least if you're watching the episode. But her family has known her for a lifetime, and according to the stepdaughter, Kay was a mother to her. 40 years of nurturing. They were as close as they could be until Aaron appeared. Knowing how this show works, they try to steer the pot between the panelists just to get the viewers entertained. They play the daughter sort of like a money-hungry person who is only taking care of her inheritance. At least that's how I feel all of this. But be honest, if you watch your dad work so hard to provide, and after he passes, that money that cost him blood, sweat, and tears be spent in a one-way relationship with a stranger who doesn't even want to meet, or at least he doesn't even try. I understand Kathy's anger towards her stepmother.
2 weeks after my mom had met Aaron, we went to visit my father's grave. She just acted really strange. She was like a bother to her that she didn't want to walk up here. And she walked up and said, "Hey, Willie, how's it going?" And that was it. Turned around, she left, let's go get some lunch.
That is weird. Another red flag Dr. Phil should be writing. All of a sudden, that motherly love was gone. She began acting completely different. Another red flag. The way Kay responds to Kathy is agonizing. Kathy is just trying to search for the guy her mother is going to marry, but Kay is vicious towards her for not believing her delusion. And we learn that Kay was even selling Kathy's dad's belongings to give Aaron the cash.
What were you saying to her?
I hate her.
Why?
Stay out of my life. She says all this money was her dad's. Almost all that money was mine.
The more the episode progresses, the more aggressive Kay becomes.
You wired around $85,000 to him?
I guess so.
Did he say what for?
He said so he could come home. He said he needed the money to fix the problem and he could come home.
But what was the problem?
He never really said then, and I didn't ask.
And listen, and we'll leave her out of it for a minute.
We'll get her out of here then.
Kathy said nothing, but Kay insults her anyway because the audience reacted. This shows the possible interactions in real life between the two of them.
If one thing, she'll stay out of my life.
Right.
Oh, you
want her
don't
to know
have to
anything
worry.
about it.
I'm out of your life.
Oh, you better believe it.
Oh, you don't
I
have
hope
to
you
worry.
die before you walk out that door.
No,
you deserve
you
it.
don't.
Yes,
No,
I
you
do.
don't. No,
oh,
you
hell, I
don't.
don't.
No, you
She's
don't.
giving me more problems than Carter's got pills.
Well-
I haven't never said anything. I just give to you, you
But
bitch.
Kathy will always be the one to blame. It's as if Kay transformed her into her personal monster. Not gonna lie, she's giving me Foodie Beauty vibes. She even looks like her. Both are disgusting, vile, and grotesque individuals. Then we meet Kathy's daughter. She doesn't care if someone is swindling her grandma. She is weirded out that Kathy is obsessed with trying to know who this Aaron guy is. This lady is on Kay's side and helping her with the delusion.
My mom was very upset that Kay sent money to Aaron. She seemed to be very bothered by that. She didn't understand why Kay would be sending this man that she doesn't know money, and so quickly after my grandfather had passed away. I said if Kay wants to be stupid and give someone her money that she doesn't even know, then let her do it, but you shouldn't let that affect your life.
It's not so much that I care about what she does with this man. It's Grandpa's hard-earned money that she gave to a perfect stranger.
I feel, is there more to it? Is there a reason why she feels this way? Maybe it's the money. Kay has gotten my mom a lot of nice things.
Again with the she's money hungry and that's why she cares so much about this angle. It's a possibility, but the fact that the two of them had an actual motherly bond, I mean, I'm sure your parents had helped you through the years, right? It goes both ways, and again, 40 years of bonding. Kathy doesn't mention a narcissistic trait or anything about it on Kay. It was a lovely relationship until the emergency surgery and Aaron happened. It's so disturbing how this blonde lady takes her grandmother's side, throwing her mother under the bus. But enough. Here's my theory. Again, not diagnosing anyone, this is just anecdotal. Kay maybe has vascular dementia. I don't know if you have met someone struggling with a family member with dementia. It changes them. The grandpa who you knew as a sweet, lovely, and caring man turned into aggressive, biting people, spitting, kicking, and saying horrible things about the people around him. Kay mentioned an emergency surgery. She also mentioned she's not a healthy person. These are just assumptions. This type of dementia can be caused by the lack of blood running towards the head, like a brain injury, say a stroke or something like that. Also bad circulation overall. And having diabetes, high cholesterol, hypertension, and smoking, all of these factors increase the risk of having vascular dementia. Some of the symptoms are slow reasoning, being impaired to analyze a situation, memory issues, difficulty to choose, disorganized thoughts, agitation, restlessness, and aggression, among others. And let's not forget that Kay mentioned she was being medicated in her early adulthood. Again, not a doctor. Maybe it's not vascular, but this to me screams dementia. She needs to be evaluated by a psychiatrist, and with medication, she can restore her original self. But according to an update about the family, they all cut Kay out of their lives. This is sad. I hope they made the right decision, because if Kay's aggression is because of an illness and the family didn't help her, they are going to regret that decision for the rest of their lives. Tell me in the comments your opinion about this. If you have a family member or a friend with dementia, does this ring a bell, or is Kay really a nasty person? I guess I just don't want to believe that she chose a complete stranger over her daughter. But it happens, and it happens a lot. Thank you for watching.